the crew chief of the number 5 Hendrick Cars Chevrolet. My goodness, Cliff. I mean, what an amazing run there. I mean, you guys went through a little bit of everything today, from speed to resilience and to an amazing finish. So walk us through the race from your perspective.
Yeah, for sure. Certainly I think I would summarize it as just all around good team day. Contrary to some of the races that we've had this year, I think today was about the things that actually worked out and went our way versus things that didn't go our way. Certainly after Kyle had the really loose moment off of 2, we did get a little bit of damage from that, and the caution came out right away, which really saved that run for us, and it let us get to work on the car again. And then later in the race, when we pitted from 3rd, our pit crew did an amazing job, got us out with the lead, and then Kyle did a great job at the end of the race. Managing tires, leading in the next-gen car is just really tough. And, even Bell, when he was out front, wasn't amazing, but then Bell, when he was 2nd through 5th, was really good. And so it's just a tough spot to be in. I thought Kyle did a great job managing that. And, all in all, just a really solid all-around team day.
We're going to open the floor for questions. We're going to start up front with Jenna and then go to Tom.
Hey, Cliff, congratulations. Jenna Fryer, AP. Jeff was just in here before you, and, we think, oh, they win the first race, they're locked in, the first one's locked in. You get this, vacation time to just think about Phoenix. And he said not so much with the new car. From your perspective, just why is that?
I don't know that it's a lot different just because of the new car, but to me, just from the team exercise, dynamic of things, if we say, hey, we're just going to, cruise for the next 2 weeks, then you're not operating with the edge that I think you're going to need to win it in Phoenix. There's 2 more races to win. And so now that, the way I see it is this: now that we're in the position that we're in, we get to play those races to win. If it's a late call, if it's flipping a stage, if a caution comes out, whatever it may be, versus having to play the race just for points. I think that's the position that it puts us in the next 2 weeks. But from the team exercise, I promise you, all those other guys are so good. They're going to be pushing so hard to try to win the next 2 weeks. I think we have to match that intensity so that we're going into Phoenix with the right level of intensity ourselves and, get there with strength. Yep.
Go to Tom and then to Adam.
Tom Zaleski, Iron County Today. Hi, Cliff. Near the end of stage 1, when the yellow came out with 15 to go, Bell went for 2 tires, but you took 4. How did that set you up for the rest of the race, knowing that you had the fresher tires and you still won the stage anyway?
Yeah, I think at that point the call could have gone either way. We put on our qualifying scuffs at that point. I don't think anybody was going to waste an entire set of stickers. So the call was either going to be put on your scuffs with 15 to go, or maybe take rights. And I think you saw the mix of that from the field: guys who took 4 scuffs and guys who took rights. And then, of course, that does save us a set of stickers for later in the race in case you need it. And there was a lot of cautions in the way the weird things played out. So I was glad that we had that set of stickers laying on the ground.
Adam?
Hey, Cliff. Adam Carabine from RacingRefresh.com. How do you compare where your team is at this year compared to where you were at this stage a couple years ago when you won the championship?
I think as a team, we are significantly stronger. Results don't show it at all. And if you look at the results chart, which I have in my office of the 5-team all year, it's just up and down. But the reason that I say that is, of course, we've had 2 more years to gel together, to work together. The chemistry has only gotten stronger. But also because of what we've been through this year, where, what I alluded to with the up and down finishes, let's be honest, some of those up and down finishes we created, both the good and the bad. So it's a really good, team growth exercise to go through some of the tough times and learn how to communicate and lean on each other and find the core strength that you need to come out on the backside of a weekend where maybe we screwed up or didn't get the result that we needed. And there's just been a lot of learning and a lot of growth through that. And so I think, the 2 years under our belt mixed with such a volatile season that we've had to learn how to, play tough and be resilient. I think our team is in a very, very strong position right now.
We're going to go to Zach, then to Kelly, then to Oliver.
Zach Sterniolo, NASCAR.com. Cliff, you talked about that resiliency the timing of that caution, you mentioned it was critical and kind of saved the race. Why was that so important for you guys to get that break then? Could you guys have continued throughout the course of that run without that caution and still been okay?
I would say probably not. Was it 30 to go in the run still at that point? 25 to go, something like that. So two things with the big sideways moment off the corner. Our right rear tire was significantly, heated up and hot, from what that was. Plus we had the little bit of the damage. Both of those kind of doubling down on making our car too loose, which it was already too loose that run. So now that would have been a lot of factors working against us to go the next 25 laps. Even the lap times after things kind of settled back in, we were 2 to 3 tenths off the pace from what everybody was running in the top 10. So had that run carried out, we may have finished that run 14th or 15th. I really don't know. And then that really sets you up for an uphill battle for the rest of the day. So the timing of the caution probably saved our day in all reality.
Kelly?
Kelly, ChronoRacer.com. Cliff, you came over the radio, I believe it was, after the checkered and said a lot of blessings came this team's way this weekend, and I'm just curious what you meant by that.
Yeah, I think, my faith, my faith in Jesus Christ as a person this year has had to grow a lot just because of what we've been through, and I've had to learn how to be humble and be smart and lean on the faith to get through a lot of different situations. And I fully acknowledge that while we have complained some weekends that they haven't gone the 5 teams' way, yesterday in practice we made it either 14 or 15 laps, and a chunk came out of our right rear tire as the tire was separating, but it never lost air and we didn't crash. So that is just that is an instant away from us going to a backup car like the 9 car unfortunately had to. So it starts with yesterday of that tire not completely failing. And then today, like I just mentioned, a few moments ago, the caution kind of saved our day after we had the big moment off of 2. And the adjustments that we made in the car kind of helped the car throughout the day. Restarts worked out for us. And then the money stop where we came down pit road 3rd and came out with a lead. Like all of those things, in my mind, were a lot of blessings that worked out for us and went our way. We're not saying that, things don't happen for a reason in the past, but we've certainly had some difficult days where we've walked away, pretty sad and dejected. But, the big man upstairs was certainly looking out for us this weekend.
Hi.
We did, yep, really sideways off 2. And if you watch I think there's a camera on the back straightaway that shows us off of 2. The wall kind of saved us to keep from completing the spin, and that knocks the tail over just a little bit and frees the car up. Yeah.
Hi, I'm from Germany, Oliver my name. Yeah. In Germany is NASCAR not so famous like in the United States. Can you tell me from you what makes NASCAR so special and what are the most important skills for such as for a NASCAR driver like you?
NASCAR driver like Larson. So I think what makes Cup racing so special in the context of global motorsports, I follow F1 a lot. I follow the IndyCar series a lot. Those series are very tight. I would argue that IndyCar is probably a little bit tighter than F1 as far as the strength of the grid goes. But in Cup racing, there are legitimately 20 to 22 teams any given week that can win. That is very powerful. And a lot of that is the parity of the next-gen car, and a lot of that is you just have a very collective, high IQ group of people here that are all operating at a very high level, pit crews and drivers and teams, and there's just so much, commonality and so much parity in the way the top 20 to 22 teams are. I would fully acknowledge that if restarts would have gone differently at some point of the day, a guy who ran, in the backside of the top 10 or somewhere between the top 5 and the top 10, like I think of the 8 car. The 8 car had a great day today. If things would have happened differently on pit road and the 8 car comes out with the lead, the 8 car probably wins. That's just how competitive our sport is. And so to me, to have international appeal, it's got to rest on how tough it is to execute a Cup race nowadays. And how tough the competition is. You are one fraction of an inch, one little moment away from either winning or not winning, which is a very razor thin margin that may not exist, around the rest of the world.
We're going to go to Cole, then to Justin, and we'll wrap with Mitchell, and then Bob.
Cole Cusimano with the Arizona Republic. Cliff, congratulations. You alluded to the money stop, and I'm just curious. The 5 teams always lights out on pit road, but it seems like in those crucial money stop moments, they're always able to overcome. What is it about that moment that the team's able to just rally and execute on a consistent basis?
There's a lot of experience on the team, which I think is very valuable. Guys who have been in the moment, been in that situation before. And plus the talent. I mean, the talent is easy to speak to. There's a lot of really good, talented, fast teams on pit road, but the experience that our guys have, and how hard we push ourselves. We set our standard very high. We set our expectations very high. So if we don't have a race that's great on pit road, we go back, we talk about it, we beat each other up a bit, try to learn what we need to do to improve. And so, for a caliber of a group like that, where their experience speaks for itself, their accomplishments speaks for themselves. They do a great job of continuing to be hungry for more, continuing to learn, continuing to get better. Nobody rests on the wins of the past or the experience of the past. Those guys are always striving to get better. So what makes it a great combination on the money stop is when you mix together, that endeavor to continue to improve, plus the experience they have. They know how to have, ice water in their veins and just get it done.
Justin?
Justin Schuler, Kicking the Tires. Cliff, I was asking Jeff earlier about all the tire issues from Saturday and then even more today. You were talking about Kyle's resilience personally on the track, but what about the team and having to face those troubles on Saturday and then having that in the back of your mind when you're seeing other cars having tire issues throughout the day today, and then especially in that final stage having longer runs? Did that ever cross your mind, or what's going through your mind when you see that, and especially Bell closing on those final laps and having that maybe in the back of your head?
I would say everything you just described was playing into my head, throughout the whole race. And the tire, issues on Saturday were a little bit of a surprise, I think, to the field based on where, everybody was on tire settings in the spring. Pace was certainly fast yesterday. Pace was fast today. With the track temp being a little bit cooler, ambient air temp being a little bit cooler, especially yesterday. So that was something that overnight we knew we had to go a different direction on where we were on air pressure and be a lot more conservative. And with that brings a little bit of unknown on getting your car balance right. And I'm just going to be honest, we missed it at the start of the day. I know Kyle got out to the lead, but we were obviously way too loose, the first run of the race. We got past and had to do a lot of work on our car throughout the day that was partly because of, the direction that we had to go as a response, to the tire issues from yesterday. That put us in the mindset of trying to play conservative, but then also, to your point, having to rely on the guys over the wall to make a lot of changes to the car and get the car dialed in for what our conditions and our air pressure platform was today.
Mitchell?
Cliff, Mitchell Brewer, Black Hat Sports. Earlier this season, you guys probably should have won the Vegas race had it not been for a late caution. What's it mean to come back here, have another dominant day, and then actually finish the job?
Very, very special and quite a relief. To be honest, though, there's a lot of the intermediate cup races this year that have come down to a late caution. So we were, our gears were spinning, on top of the pit box and behind pit wall, trying to make sure we had our air pressure adjustments right, and we knew what our pit call was going to be, if a late caution came out. And fortunately it didn't. But I like to think that we were probably more prepared had it come out than what we've been earlier in the season.
Go to Bob, and then we'll wrap with Dustin.
Bob Parker's Fox Sports. I have a couple. The first, how many drivers spin like that or have spin like that, kiss the wall, and are able to still keep control of the car and win a race?
Probably not many. Huge credit to him. I got interviewed earlier, and they said, "Hey, 1 to 10, how would you rate that Larson safe?" So I'm like, man, everybody wants to give it a 10. I'll give it a 9.4, and they're like, 9.4. Well, we hit the wall. I mean, if he wants a 10, don't hit the wall. But it was a ridiculous safe. Yeah.
And we always hear people say, "Hey, you gotta celebrate every win because you never know if it's gonna be your last." But so I'm curious, is there any celebration on your part, or are you like, "I'm not celebrating till Phoenix"?
I think as a team, we all have been looking forward so much to a moment like this when you know our day does go well and things do go right, that I would say when I go see the team after this, we'll probably celebrate, have a drink, take a few minutes and just, you know, reminisce on the day. And then when we wake up tomorrow morning, we're going to be ready to go for Homestead.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. Cliff, the caution shortly after the end of the first stage where the 19 stayed out. I know you guys took 4, some others took 2. Can you just take me through your thinking, your mindset? Was there ever consideration to stay out? Was there ever consideration to do anything other than 4? And were you surprised to see the 19 stay out?
If I'm saying this right, which I think I'm describing it right, a lot of guys up front at that point were on rights with a lot of laps on their lefts. I believe us and a handful of other guys were on our qualifying scuffs. So in our position, we were committed no matter what, because it was our qualifying scuffs, that we were pitting and going to take 4 no matter what. Guys that had committed to rights, of course, with a lot of laps on their lefts, they would be committed to 4. Where the 19, the 11, another car that you mentioned, I think those guys, because they had taken 4 stickers, we had 4 scuffs, other guys had 2 stickers. Because they had taken 4 stickers, I think that put them in a little bit more of a versatile position to either stay or put on 2 right side tires. And obviously the 11 made it work. You know, the 11 had the lead and wasn't fast enough to go get away, but was fast enough to defend on rights. So obviously that was a great call and it worked out for him.
Maybe it doesn't mean as much because when the 19 staying out, nobody else did. He's behind 2, got 2 and 4 tires. So I guess the assumption is they're just going to get eaten up. But when you see the one car, a lead type car, stay out, does that raise an eyebrow, or you're so focused on what you've got to do and you're like, okay, we'll just go get them?
I think had our day been a little bit calmer and I wasn't so focused on trying to adjust on our car, I can't remember if we had hit the wall by that point, forgive me. We had a lot of things that we were trying to work through with our day. Certainly my expectation for the restart when I saw the 19 out front is that he was going to go lead for a bit, and you know, knowing how tough and how good Denny is in those type of situations, even being on rights, I expected those 2 cars are going to be really tough at the front of the field. You know, the 11 made it work. Again, he had fresh rights, and I guess the 19, I guess that just shows us that, you know, with 9 or 10 or however many laps it was on their tires, that just wasn't the grip that he needed. Yeah.
Well, Cliff, congratulations again. Good luck next week in Homestead, and we'll see you at NASCAR Championship Weekend for the NASCAR Cup
Sounds
Series
great. Thank you,
Championship
guys.
race.